So, for the fun of it, since I've talked about a few ships here and there, figured why don't I just go into the Steven universe and talk about a couple ships that I really enjoy. Now, of course, these with the same one I did with the Panashi video and the Korosami video and a few others here and there. I've talked about ships. I'm not here to bash other people's ships. I'm just here to talk about my personal ones. But before we go any further, I'd like to say this piece of artwork I have right here is beautiful, and unfortunately I couldn't find the artist's name, which is sad because I'd love to credit her. Him or her, excuse me. I'd like to credit him or her for this artwork because it's beautiful, and unfortunately I couldn't find the artist's name when I found it. So if he or she is listening, this artwork is beautiful, and sorry I couldn't credit you in the video. So my deepest apologies right there. Anyway, so let's talk about my favorite ships, starting with Steven and Connie, Stevani. It's beautiful. It's an adorable little tugboat in my fleet of ships. It's absolutely adorable. Yeah, that's kind of like that's like OTP level for me with Steven and Connie. Because they complement each other so well. Steven's this happy-go-lucky character. It's very much like Steven and Connie are like a gender-bent Star and Marco. That's kind of a way to look at it. Is like Connie's this very quick-witted but very intelligent, very careful kind of person, and Steven's the happy-go-lucky magical boy. So Steven and Connie, they really play. They really literally can become one person. Stevani, that's the embodiment of their love right there. Yeah, and they already talk like a married couple. It's so funny. Like they're young. Like Steven's 14 and Connie's like 12 and a half. And yet they're talking like a married couple in some cases. Anyway, so what more can I say about Stevani that hasn't already been said? Also, big shout out to Garnet, who is literally a ship. She is literally a ship right there of Ruby and Sapphire, which is also really adorable. What more can I say about that other than, she's a fusion, and I gotta be honest, at first I was kind of against the theory of Garnet being a fusion, because it's kind of, and to quote my friend, the Real Manos, on what he said about it, it's kind of like with Devastator, when the combiners happen in the cartoon. In the comics, a little different with the Transformer combiners. But in the cartoons, whenever they when the combiners merge together to form Devastator, no one cared about Devastator and his character, and I was kind of afraid that the fusions were going to be like the combiners from Transformer. And boy, was I wrong, because yeah, Garnet's literally the embodiment of Ruby and Sapphire's love. So yeah, I'm totally fine with them being a literal fusion of love. The embodiment of love right there. Anyway, so there's obviously the two obvious ships are obvious right there. Stevani and Garnet right there. What else? There's a few others. The thing is, I've said this before. Peridot has literally become the new Katara. Let me explain. If you guys remember your Avatar ships, and this continues to this day, in terms of Avatar shipping, Katara is literally shipped with everybody. That is, no, really. Go to fanfiction.net or some Avatar fanfiction site. Go there right now and look through all the ships that Katara has. Not just with Aang and Zuko, but literally everybody. She's literally shipped with everybody. And that's with Peridot as well. Peridot's the new Katara. She's literally shipped with everybody. With Pearl, Amethyst, Lapis, Steven even, Garnet, Jasper. And here's the thing, of course Lapidot and Amidot, I'm kind of open to all the Peridot ships, because I feel like Peridot's personality, literally you can put it with anybody and you can have a good time, in terms of shipping, because her personality is so out there. It's like a more toned down Zim in some cases. It's very much like a very toned down, little more reserved Zim in some cases. So it's pretty funny to see, and it's kind of fun to see her in these kind of, if the fanfiction's done right, then it's a lot of fun to see her interact with all these characters in terms of shipping, because she's such a fun character to to put her with somebody. So I can understand the multiple ships. Me personally, I kind of dig both Amadot and Lapidot. You know, Amadot and I'm kind of open to those two ships in general. I'm kind of cool with all the other ships, but those two right there are kind of my personal faves right there between, you know, I kind of dig both, because because Lapis, especially the current Lapis, of being this deadpan, almost like May from Avatar kind of like character, and it's fun to see that Lapis hang out with Peridot, and Amethyst and Peridot, it's very much like the Odd Couple right there with Amethyst and Peridot hanging out. Anyway, so I even like Pearl. I even enjoy Pearl and Peridot as a ship. Yeah, Pearl and Peridot. That was actually the first person I shipped Peridot with, was Pearlodot. Because those two would probably talk science all the time, and it would be super adorable to see them just have a lot of scientific conversations. So, yeah, Peridot and Pearl was kind of like my major one, but I've kind of moved on to, of course, the ever-giant Lapis and Peridot, along with Amethyst and Peridot. Anyway, the thing with Steven Universe is that I'm very open to all the ships, really, because there's like a giant wire of ships all over the place. There's even like a few, like, I wouldn't say I'm into it, but I find it interesting, is the ship that's kind of been rising is between Greg and Jasper. It's totally alien, I know, it's totally alien, but in a weird way, it's kind of fun because of seeing Jasper hang out with Greg, and just for that interaction alone of like a redeemed Jasper just hanging out with Greg. And there's this piece of fan art I found where Greg's in the back of his car, and Steven calls to him, he's like, "Hey, Dad, what were you doing?" "Oh, I was doing things." And then Jasper climbs out and goes, "Oh, things is my name now?" and Greg has this look of, "Oh, God, I wish Steven didn't see that." Yeah. So that's the thing with Steven Universe ships, is that unlike I have my, you know, my close ships right there, right out the gate, Steven Universe, it's weird. I'm very open to, like, the map of characters we have, because they all have really cool interactions with each other, and it's very open to interpretation. And that's what I really dig about Steven Universe on a whole, is that they have some very open interpretations to all these characters, and you can almost ship everybody with everybody, really. But I think the two I really guard the most are, if I was to put it like a higher level of the other ships, from me, it'd be Garnet and Stevonnie right there. Obviously, you know, Ruby and Sapphire, as well as Steven and Connie. But again, I'm not here to bash ships. I'm just here to, you know, start a conversation. You know, because I'm always interested to see what you guys have to say. Again, not bashing ships here, just wanted to talk about the ships I like, which is very open, aside from those two right there. Anyway, so you guys tell me, what are some of your favorite ships from Steven Universe, and why do you like them? Just comment below, let me know, and once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.